Greetings, Crawford Ashley here, the spiritual boxer. And I'm just going to be talking about things that I've kind of like, I don't know. It's one of them, do you suffer with depression? No, I live with it. And it's some of the things that I found why I was depressed over my life, and I was seeing my cope and come out of it. And boxing was one of them. It gave me a focus, it gave me something to look forward to. And when fighters used to pull out, I'd get depressed. They're bad, especially if they were good fighters and they pulled out, or the fight fell through or whatever. That really hit me hard. It was boom. It wasn't a nice feeling. And then you got managers who were just ripping you off, stopping you from fighting, keeping you at a level, and then speaking to you like they own you. Man, some of them times was bad, man, but I just wanted to box. All I wanted to do was box. Like I said, it gave me that focus. And was I bitter? No. No, one bit I was annoyed, I was angry. But bitter, no, because I always felt boxing was a privilege for me. It was something that I was honoured to be able to do it, to be able to get into a ring and perform and box. Especially to box the people I boxed. You know, when I was in Germany to box Graziano Rodriguini, that to me was an honour. To get in front of all his fans and perform on an equal stage. I really like that part about boxing. Maybe that's the spiritual side that I kind of like having. It's when people say, who would you have wanted to box? And to me, it's always the best fighters. It's nothing to do with, it's to do with testing how good you are, basically. I'd have loved to have boxed Roy Jones, but the fight never happened. And it's one of these, at his height, I'd have gone in and I'd have given him a fight. And I believe in myself, I'd have beat him. And then there was the James Toney, another one. Everybody were avoiding him, super middleweight. I'd have loved to have boxed him, but another one fight never got made. But these are kind of like, why did I box? There was nothing else I wanted to do. When I left school, I was an apprentice bricklayer for Leeds City Council. And then I found roller skating. And I got my boots, and every week I bought one wheel. And when I've got through 8 weeks and I got my 8 wheels, that was it. I didn't go back into work. I just went roller skating because summer had come. And it was great. I stayed on them roller skates for about 2-3 years. And that's all I wanted to do was skate. I'd get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go skating down the main roads. And then, after that I got into a lot of trouble. Well, during that time I was in a lot of trouble. And my life was proper spiraling out of control. And one of my friends says, you know, it's just a bus ride and you can get off the bus anytime you want. And I thought about that. And it is. But that's one of Bill Hicks's sayings. It's just, life's just a roller coaster, it's just a ride. You know, and you can get off the ride anytime you want. And I decided I got off the bus. And what I did is I sort of like dedicated myself to 3 years. I put myself in prison for 3 years, and I just said I can do 3 years in prison because that's where I'm heading. So I surely can do 3 years myself. And all I did was go to the gym and go back home. Go to the gym and go back home. And that's all I did. And then I started boxing, and then I turned pro with Tommy Miller and Peter Coleman. And the deal was 25%, and they split that between them. And then on my last fight for them, they took an extra 10% trainer's fee, so without even speaking to me. And that was the first time I got £1,000. And it was against Brian Schumacher, defending my Central Area title. I'd won it against Carl Thompson. And I've been talking about the Thompson fight because that kind of like showed my mental attitude in that fight. When they put me down in the first round, the voice in me just said, it's going to get harder than this, but we're going to win, get up. And I got up and I went on and won the fight. So, like I said, there's these different things. And then I went with Barry Earns and Darky Smith, and I had one fight with them, and Barry got me an absolute, I don't know, but it wasn't good. It was about 60 seconds I think it lasted, and I was a bit upset because of the level of opponent. And he told me that it gives Chris Eubanks 4 opponents to choose from, and Chris picks the one he can beat. Wow. You know, I don't like manufactured boxers, and I've shared a ring with Chris Eubanks, by the way, for a week, so he knows, and people who are down there know. Yeah, so I had this contract with Darky, and Barry were promoting. And Barry and Darky fell out. And Barry wanted me to sign with him. But when I want to sign with him, he phoned me up and we had a conversation, and he says, at least there's going to be food on my table in the morning. And I just thought, wow. Put phone down on him. Anyway, but I like Barry, I've got to say. He's one of the few people in boxing world who did exactly like he said he was going to do, never lied. And then I went with Eastwood. Oh man. But I learned a lot down there. You know, I think that was sad, because Eastwood's had one of the best stables around. Great group of lads. I think he had about 5 world champions. And it was all down to his greed why it all just fell apart. Ripping the fighters off. You know, I mean, he was already a multi-millionaire, but yeah, his greed just destroyed what he had. And that's sad. But that's life. Learn a lot from that. And then when I went with Frank Warren, he was bad, but I'm glad I met Frank, because through Frank I met Bob Padgett, who was Frank's right-hand man at the time, and basically set Frank up in boxing. And from the moment me and Bob started to work together, we had a kind of click. And I don't know what it's seen, maybe the fact that I just wanted to fight, and I just wanted to fight the best, and I was willing to give everything. I'm one of these who's going out partying And yeah, I'm in another man's backyard. I'm not going to get the decision, so I won't even bother trying. With me, I'm coming to win. I'm coming to take what you've got. And I think Bob liked that. And he fell out with Frank over it because Frank told Bob to tell me to behave myself and do as I'm told. And you know what I mean? And Bob says, well, why don't you just treat him right? And that's all it is just treat me right. Tell me what you're going to do and do it. And that's what I found with Frank. Frank always lied, everything was always on a promise and nothing ever turned up. And what he did with me with Nicky Piper, I've got you a fight. Nicky Piper can't box for the British title unless he boxes me. So how have you got this fight for me? You've done me a favour, you got me a fight. Thank you. And it was against Nicky Piper, and it's in his own backyard. And it's in about 3 weeks' time they're going to announce the fight. Okay, I go down to the press conference. I'm at the press conference and one of the media guys asks Nicky how come he thinks he can beat Crawford. And he said he's been training for the last 6 weeks. I found out last night. I just looked at Frank and went, you're a cunt, you're gonna lose. And in my head it's going round, how can he beat me? They've had to give him 6 weeks to get ready for him to fight. 6 weeks. This is the voice in my head. 6 weeks, he can't beat me. There's no way on this planet he can beat me. And that's where I won the fight. I won the fight right there, right then, when he answered that question that he's been training for 6 weeks. We're both managed by the same man. Both promoted by the same man. And you know, what's going on here? So basically, get your mind right, strong mind, boom. It helps you a lot. And knowing that your manager wants to get you beat is also a really good incentive. It's a right kick up the arse. And when I went into training, man, flip it, from day one, I gave 100%. I was absolutely knackered. For the next 2.5 weeks, I was tired, man. And then I rested for 4 days. And I came back strong. And in the last round, I was knocked. But if it had gone another 15 rounds, I'd have still stayed on my feet. Because that's how strong my mind is and pushing my body to that limit. And after that fight, Nicky went on and boxed for the world title. And me and Frank fell out. And then I met Tony Breen, who, yeah, we had a right adventure, man. We had a good adventure, did me and Tony. And now with Theo, when Theo goes pro, I'd love Tony to be involved with him. There's very few good people in boxing, and Tony was one of the best. And it was through Frank Warren that I met Bob Paget, who introduced me to Tony. And yeah, the last, I think, 7 years of my career were brilliant. You know, I had 2 people around me who I trusted. And that was nice to have. You know they had your back and they wanted the best for you. And then you want to produce the best. And it's like, when I won, we won, the team won. But when I lost. I didn't do my job. And I liked that. You know, nobody got blamed. I blamed myself because it's me, I didn't do my job. You know, you got to take full responsibility. And I'd like to thank Tony for getting me back into boxing, because Frank was holding me out. And he brought on Frank Bologna. Another one who was, wow. Yeah, he was a character with that one. Still is, I think. But yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've witted on a bit. It was just a bit of a chat. There's a lot to say, but I'm writing my book anyway. Still putting in chronological order. But the one I'm doing at the moment is life after boxing, because I went to a very dark place, and yeah, and what I did to get out of it, and maybe some of them things, because I'm reading Tris Dixon's book Damage, and a lot of that kind of like makes sense to me, because when I got stopped by Sebastian Rothman, I had an headache for about 5 years, man. A bad headache. But I think it was my brain healing itself and coming back. And now my brain's alright. I've had a few sort of like, I can't call them dark moments. But yeah, a few, I don't know what to call it. But just a part of life where I don't seem to have the energy to do the things I want to do. You know, it's kind of, I don't know. I just feel weird at the moment. But anyway, I don't know what to say. Just me having a chat. Anyway, bye.